got our first conference game, and it's not easy. There's 3 undefeated teams left in the country, and Oklahoma's one of them. They're doing much better than what most people thought coming into the year. They've got one of the better freshmen in the country in Fears. He's the only player in the SEC and both top 5 in both scoring and assist. So, we've got to do a great job on him defensively. They've got, 2 players in the top 10 in scoring. I think the only school to have that with Fears and Moore. Moore is a kid from Alabama. So, they've got 2 kids in the starting lineup from Alabama, and Moore and Miles. But they're a good team. I mean, they're well coached. They've got offensive firepower. They're disciplined on defense. We're gonna have to be ready to go. So this is this is our 6th season since we've been here, starting the SEC. We've done a pretty good job most years in conference play, but you've got to start the conference out well. The 2 years we've won the regular season, we started out pretty good in the first half of conference play. This is a tough one to start with. But if you're going to have a chance to win the conference, you got to win your home games. So it's a home game that we got to take care of, and we got to figure out a way to get our defense improved, to get better shots on offense, take care of the ball on offense, and figure out a way to come up with a win here if we're going to have a chance to compete for the league.
Do you have an update on Darian Reed and Houston Millette and their availability for tomorrow?
Yeah, Darian and Houston both practiced today. Darian was somewhat limited. I mean, Houston was just an illness, so he's getting his wind back, trying to get his energy back. So he'll be available. Probably not quite as much as in the past, just because he's still coming off the illness. And Darian with the ankle injury looked better today than yesterday. So they'll both, in all likelihood, be available unless there was some type of flare-up or something from practice that I don't anticipate.
Yeah, the three-point defense for Oklahoma, pretty strong. I think 4th in the country. What stands out about their perimeter defense?
Yeah, I mean, they really challenge. They play hard. They fly around. They're running you off the line. I mean, you can tell there's a concerted effort not to give up open threes, and they do a good job with it. So, and we've struggled to shoot the ball from 3, so that's a area of concern for us with as many threes as we want to take with them guarding the three-point line so well. So, we're going to obviously emphasize our guys getting into the lane a little bit if they're flying out at us that hard. We don't want to shoot contested ones. So if we're seeing them fly out at us on a contest and they're trained pretty well to play hard and contest threes, then we got to try to use that to our advantage and get into the paint, create some rim shots. They don't have good rim protection for the most part. They've got tough physical guys. Mo Gay played here before. We know he can protect the rim. We also know he's foul prone. So, he's a great kid. I think he felt like he'd probably have a little bit bigger role going somewhere else. And, we're pretty familiar with his play. Looking forward to seeing him. But, he's maybe their best shot blocker. He's just not playing very many minutes for him. So they do contest threes well, but I think we can get to the rim, finish at the rim a little bit more on these guys.
When you look at the last 13 games, just what's maybe your biggest takeaway, and where do you still see room for improvement going into SEC play?
Yeah, so obviously the biggest room for improvements on the defensive side of the ball. Our defense isn't where it needs to be. I think guys taking some individual pride in just their defense and keeping guys out of the lane. I think our rim protection could stand to get a little bit better still. So we need, kind of Cliff and Grant, Aiden to do a better job there. But, on the offensive side of the ball, our three-point percentage is the biggest thing that jumps out. We've got to find better threes. We've got to get the right guys taking more of the threes. And then our turnover rate came back down last game, but it had been an issue up until that. So we got to take care of the ball and get better threes from the correct shooters. And then, while we're missing them, we got to do a good job on the old boards. Like, we can still win games when we don't shoot it great from 3 by getting on the offensive glass. We got to continue to, emphasize that. Those have been the biggest things, though.
Can you speak to the non-conference season that the league has had as a whole?
Yeah, it's been, ridiculously successful. Somebody told me we broke the record. I believe there was an ACC team or an ACC year 20 plus years ago that had a 88% winning percentage non-conference, or games before New Year's, I believe, is what it came down to, and we broke that. So you kind of look. Somebody put out a tweet. The 16 toughest remaining strength of schedule in the country. The teams that have the 16 toughest remaining strength of schedules are all the 16 SEC teams, which would make sense because our non-conference was so great. So, you see some teams like Oklahoma, who maybe people had projected them to be in the bottom half of the league, and now they're 13-0. So they've helped that tremendously. Tennessee and Auburn, everybody knows, they're 1-2 in the country. They've had an unbelievable start, but Florida's undefeated. They're obviously really good, as is Tennessee. Kentucky's back. I shouldn't say back. They've traditionally been pretty good, but Kentucky's playing really well. Even our teams that maybe picked at the bottom are winning a lot of games. So to almost have a 90% winning non-conference winning percentage that's tough. It's going to be a tough league. So a lot of games in there. I think there's going to be, competition for who wins the league all the way up till the end. I think it's going to be hard for anybody to run away with it because there's just no easy games in the league this year.
You mentioned Cliff. How have you kind of seen him just adjust to the pace that you guys play? And is he someone you see kind of getting more minutes and seeing his minutes kind of climb as SEC play gets underway?
You know what? I would hope, because we need him to be our big-time rim protector. I think he's, I don't know that he's ever going to be in the best shape on the team to play the most minutes, but I think he's figuring the pace out a little better. Mentally he's able to process a little quicker than he was earlier, just because he wasn't used to playing at this pace. And then conditioning-wise, he may be a guy that just plays a lot more shorter stints. He's in and out a little bit more just to kind of keep him fresh. But I hope his minutes go up, because we need him to really start to dominate the interior for us moving into league play.
Yeah, but this is sort of back to the three-point issue. Can you expect a team to improve as are shooters made or born, or can you expect an upward trend, or are there just too many variables to?
You know what? I think, one, I do think shooters are made, and I think some guys have an inclination to, there's better athletes than others. Some guys have better hand-eye coordination. But you can get in the gym and turn yourself into a shooter. You look at all these guys that are in the NBA that at one point in their, whether it's college career or NBA career, weren't great shooters and have turned themselves into really good shooters. You can turn yourself into a shooter. Now, are you going to do it within the next 9 weeks while conference play starts? I think you've had to put a lot of work in before now to expect to shoot it well in league play. But I think those guys that have put that work in need to continue to put the work in. I think it will jump. I think Sears started out the year struggling, and he's improved quite a bit in the last month or so. I think he's done a better job, making sure he's shot ready and taking good shots. I think if our shooters take great shots, catch and shoots where they're stepping in, and some of the other guys don't take, and some of our shooters can take some off the dribble ones, but some of our guys need to just strictly take catch and shoot threes. So I think emphasizing the type of shots we want, and then emphasizing guys getting in the gym and putting up shots, and then just some guys like Sears kind of reverting back to the mean. Young blood, the more comfortable he gets, he's been a proven shooter his entire career. I think once he gets healthy, he'll help those numbers go up quite a bit too.
Can I just hit what I was going to ask on about Chris Youngblood? Just kind of what do you want to see from him in SEC play as he kind of continues to ramp his way back up to being at full health?
Yeah, I think, every day that goes by, he gets a little bit more comfortable. He gets a little bit more confidence. in his, ankle and foot, a little bit more confidence in his conditioning. It's one of those deals. I mean, when he gets cleared, he's probably only at about 70%, and then you just got to work your way back into it. So it's getting better every day. I thought he looked better these last couple of days of practice. So we're just going to have to keep encouraging him, giving him confidence. And then I think, I don't think he's going to be 100. We were hoping, initially he'd be at 100% by the start of conference play. He's not there yet, but I don't think it's far off. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks he can get there. All right, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.